Welcome to Animal Notebook. Today we're diving into our latest explainer, blue jay, the brilliant backyard bird. We're looking at one of the most familiar yet totally misunderstood creatures in all of North America.
Let's just jump right in, because honestly, the bird everyone thinks they know, that gorgeous flash of blue at your feeder, is actually hiding a massive scientific secret. We see them all the time, right? In parks, out in the suburbs. But how much do we really know about the brilliant minds behind those feathers?
So, first things first, is a blue jay actually blue? I know, it sounds like a trick question. I mean, it's literally in the name. But get ready, because your mind is about to be blown regarding your favorite backyard visitor.
Okay, so there is an absolute masterclass of an optical illusion happening here. Believe it or not, blue jays have absolutely zero actual blue pigment in them. None. Instead, their feathers are packed with a brown pigment called melanin. That blue you're seeing, it's purely a trick of physics. Basically, microscopic structures inside their feathers scatter and reflect blue light, kind of like how a prism bends sunlight. If you were to somehow crush a blue jay feather, which please don't, but if you did, that brilliant blue would completely vanish and you'd just be left with a dull brown powder. It is just a phenomenal piece of nature's engineering.
Moving on to Section 1, Smart, Social, and Sneaky. Let's take a look inside the corvid mind.
So blue jays are actually proud members of the corvid family, which puts them right up there with the undisputed geniuses of the animal kingdom like crows and ravens. They form these incredibly tight, complex bonds with their families, and they are super communicative. You've probably heard that famous harsh jay, jay call making their presence known in the trees. But their intelligence goes way beyond just chatting with the neighbors. Check this out. In captivity, blue jays have literally been seen tearing off strips of paper to use as little tools, raking in food that was otherwise out of their reach. I mean, that is some serious next-level problem solving right there. And get this, these sneaky little guys are also expert mimics. They are notoriously good at imitating the piercing scream of a red-shouldered hawk. And you might be wondering, why on earth would they do that? Well, researchers think they use this fake hawk call for two main reasons. Sometimes it's to warn the rest of the flock that real danger is nearby. But other times, it's a total trick to scare other birds away so the blue jay can have the entire feeder to itself. Honestly, you gotta respect the hustle. They're bold, a little bit aggressive, and absolutely willing to play mind games.
Okay, Section 2, the ultimate forest planters. Turns out they are way more than just birdseed consumers.
Now, technically, they're omnivores. They'll eat everything from insects and caterpillars to, get this, chipping off light-colored house paint to get a quick calcium boost for egg production. Yeah, kind of wild. But as you can see, they actually lean heavily vegetarian. Up to 75% of their diet is just plant matter, things like seeds, grains, berries, and without a doubt, their absolute favorite snack in the world, acorns.
1,000. That is the staggering number of trips a single blue jay can make in just one single day to cache, or hide away, food for the winter. It's just a non-stop operation. And they are incredibly picky about this process too. They'll literally pick up nuts in their bills and give them a little shake to test their weight and quality before deciding if they're worth keeping. Once they find the perfect acorn, they will carry it up to 2.5 miles away from the source tree just to bury it safely in the ground. But here is where the magic happens. Because they hide so many acorns, they inevitably forget where they buried a whole bunch of them. And those forgotten seeds, they sprout. In fact, ecologists credit the blue jay with single-handedly helping to plant and spread North America's massive oak forests across the entire continent after the last ice age retreated. So that giant oak tree in your neighborhood, it might literally be the result of a forgetful, prehistoric blue jay.
All right, Section 3, nesting and family life. Let's look at how they go about raising the next generation.
When it comes to parenting, these birds are the definition of teamwork. First off, both the mom and dad work together to build this bulky, cup-shaped nest out of twigs, moss, and bark, usually tucked away anywhere from 8 to 30 feet up in a tree. Then, the female lays between 2 and 7 speckled eggs. And for the next 16 to 18 days, the male steps up as the dedicated provider, constantly bringing food right back to the nest so his partner doesn't even have to leave to eat. Finally, once those little chicks hatch, both parents share the exhausting job of feeding them for about 3 straight weeks until they're strong enough to fly on their own.
Moving to Section 4, Migration Mysteries and Folklore, here is what we still don't know.
For instance, their migration patterns completely baffled the experts. Only about 20% of northern blue jays actually bother heading south for the winter. And what's even wilder is that a specific bird might migrate one year and then completely change its mind and just stay put the very next year.
We still have no idea what actually triggers this, but when they do migrate, it is a highly organized affair. They fly in these tight flocks of 10 to 30 birds, starting exactly at sunrise and always calling it quits by noon. Oh, and culturally, their striking look has inspired some amazing stories. Like, there's this wonderful old Texas folktale that creatively explains the distinct black bands around their neck and chest. The story goes that those are the lingering marks of a yoke, from way back in the day when a sparrow supposedly forced a blue jay to pull a plow. I just love that.
All right, bringing us to our Blue Jay FAQs. Your top 4 questions answered. To wrap up this Animal Notebook Explainer, we are hitting you with a rapid-fire Q&A about our brilliant backyard bird. These are the details everyone always asks about.
FAQ number 1. What does their scientific name actually mean? Let's take a look at their official title, because it honestly describes their personality perfectly.
So the scientific name for the blue jay is Cyanocida cristata. It comes from Greek and Latin roots, and it literally translates to crested blue chattering bird. And hey, if you've ever had a flock of jays hanging out outside your bedroom window at 6 a.m., you know for a fact that chattering bird is the absolute most accurate label in the world for these guys.
Moving right along to FAQ 2, exactly how big are blue jays? You've probably seen them at your feeder, tossing their weight around with the smaller sparrows, but let's look at the actual tape measure. They're officially considered medium-sized songbirds. They measure about 9 to 12 inches long with a surprisingly wide wingspan of 13 to 17 inches. But here's the kicker, look at their weight. Despite looking pretty robust and intimidating to other birds, they only weigh between 2.3 and 3.8 ounces. It's crazy. They pack an absolute ton of intelligence and pure attitude into a shockingly light, aerodynamic little frame. All right, FAQ 3. Do blue jays mate for life? We touched on their awesome teamwork during nesting season, but what about the long-term romance? Are they in it for the long haul?
The short answer is yes, they generally are. They form monogamous pairs and develop incredibly strong social bonds. They typically stick with the exact same partner for long periods of time, and actually, they often stay together year-round, rather than just splitting up after a single breeding season. They really are a team, working together year after year to raise multiple generations of those smart little chicks.
And finally, FAQ 4. Why does the blue jay's crest go up and down? Let's talk about their absolute most distinguishing feature, that awesome pointed crest right on top of their heads.
Basically, that distinctive crest acts as a built-in mood ring. It communicates exactly how the bird is feeling to the rest of the forest. When they're super excited, agitated, or maybe alarmed by a predator, that crest shoots straight up and bristles outward. But when they're just feeding quietly, feeling totally safe, or hanging out with their family, it flattens completely against their head. They literally wear their emotions right on their feathers. It just goes to show how much incredible complexity, pure intelligence, and literal optical illusion is hiding right there in our own backyards. So what other brilliant backyard mysteries should Animal Notebook explain next? Drop us a note and definitely keep your eyes peeled the next time you hear that famous chatter.